Hi guys, this is Jenna. This is your on-demand Lagree. So for today I've got gliders, a mat. I've got this like vinyl file folder that I'm going to use for one of the moves. If you have something like this that you'll be able to slide your knees back and forth on, this is the plan for this kneeling crunch, but I'll have an option if you don't have something like that. And then also for our arm block, I don't have weights at home, so I'm just going to use wine bottles, but you can use cans of soup or jars of spaghetti sauce or whatever you have that's, somewhere around 2 to 3 pounds. Or if you're much stronger than me, then maybe you're going with heavier weights. So we are going to get started. Let me get our timer. And we're going to start with the wheelbarrow. So put your knees on those gliders. You're going to start with, I put my hands on the mat just for extra cushion. You want to stack your shoulders over your wrists and then get my timer so I can see. And then you get in this modified plank or modified push-up position, straight line from here, from the back of your neck down to your knees, and you're just going to push out with your arms. Keeping that core tight, glutes tight, quads, hamstrings, keeping that tension there. And slowly pulling back in. Halfway, we got 30 seconds left. If you can give me one more slow one. Switching from this to a cobra, which we'll see how it goes. I found it to be significantly harder when I was practicing it. Got that cobra in 3, 2, 1. So starting up here, you go down to that low plank position, forearm, back up. Try to have your arms lift up at the same time. If you have to, jump start one before the other. I feel like my left one always goes up before my right. More than halfway in. Make sure you're pushing into your palms on the way up. We're going to go up to a full plank for plank to pike after this. Five seconds left. Okay. Plank to pike. Full plank position. Raising those hips to the ceiling slowly. Trying to be heavy in our hands, heavy through the shoulders, keep your shoulders above your wrists. And trying to really lift up with your hips and your abs, not push with your legs. We're going to army crawl next. I've got my mat kind of folded in front of me. You'll keep those feet on the gliders. If yours don't get caught on your old wood floor like mine. Army crawl. And keeping those hips down. Pelvis tucked under. Remembering to go slowly, Because it's Lagree and we do everything slowly. 30 seconds left. And then we're done with that core warm up. We'll move on to those legs. 15 seconds. I'm there with you. We're going up for that elevator lunge next. That's in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Right leg forward, left leg back. That glider's on your left foot. We're gonna get started now. Making sure your hips are hip width or shoulder width apart, not tightrope walking. Keeping that weight in your right leg, keeping that right knee above your right ankle. And we'll get to the bottom. Pause. And think about driving through that right heel. You'll feel it in the back of your leg and in that right glute as you push down on the right leg. And by default, your left leg will come up. So you'll feel some pressure in that left hip flexor, but try not to collapse there. Stay, as Liv Weller would say, loaded up on your right leg. More than halfway done. Make sure we're getting down as low as we can, making sure that knee doesn't come forward. Pause down here, drive into that heel. Think about all your weight on your right leg. Really pushing with that right glute. 20 seconds left. We're just going to switch those legs for a curtsy. I know, 2 lunges right in a row. But we got to do what we can that's replayable, like in the studio. So those of you in the studio, the right foot is going to stay on the platform. It's just going to move to the left side. Left foot is going to tuck back into that pocket. Those of you at home, left foot on the glider. And we're just going to do the same thing. Keeping our weight heavy in our right leg. Keeping those hips square. Ooh. Not losing your balance like me. When we get to the bottom here, and you think about that right heel, you'll feel that pressure in your right glute. You'll also feel it in your right inner thigh when you press up. More than halfway done. Less than 30 seconds. You can shake that leg out before we start that next lunge. I shouldn't be over my phone. You should have your chest proud, arms down. Arms can be a prayer, whatever's better for you. Can be sometimes touching the wall if you need a little help. 10 seconds, and we're going to move to that front lunge. I may have forgotten to tell you guys, I want you to have a chair or an ottoman or just a table, somewhere to put your foot up on. So for that front lunge, your left foot is on the platform if you're in the studio, and your right foot is on the floor in front of the platform, and there is about an inch space between the back of your calf and the platform. For at home, just make sure you've got a good stretch here and that your right knee is not going to go in front of your right ankle for this. So we'll start that front lunge now. Remember, as we're going down in the studio, you're thinking about if you're going to sit your butt, or at least your right leg, down on that platform. That's how low we're going. And we're going up and down. We're not going back and forth. Hope you guys can see my shakes, because they're already happening. This is our last leg move. And we're going to move on to that right oblique. Halfway done. Don't let your shoulders creep up. Breathe into that right glute. I want you guys meet me at the bottom for a hold in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Meet me down here. Put arms up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to full range. Ten seconds left. I'm cheating stuff a little early. We're going to start with that side torso crunch. There's going to be 2 ways for you guys to set this up. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're moving to that right oblique. I'm going to tuck my right foot under this desk here. And then if you want to put support here, make sure we've got a straight line, hips up to your shoulders. And this would, if you're on the machine, you're on the back of the carriage, your right foot is under that X strap on the floor, and your hips are in line with the center line on the machine. If you need support, you can put this arm down. If not, put this arm right here, feeling that right oblique. As we go down like this, as low as you can, and slowly back up. If you don't have a couch or a table or something to tuck your foot under, you can also stack up like this with your hip stacked over here and just put that right leg out. And you can get the same effect just with gravity here because you're so much further off the floor. So you could do it this way if you don't have anywhere to tuck your foot. Or if you're in the studio, tuck your foot under that strap. Or if you're like me, you can tuck it under a desk, maybe under your couch. Almost done with this move. We're going to try this kneeling crunch. I'll have an option if you guys can't get that done. That's in 3, 2, 1. You're moving to a kneeling crunch. So I put a towel down on the floor. And this is where I've got this this file folder that's like vinyl, kind of slippery. So go down on your forearms. And you twist your feet back to your right so that your right oblique and right hip are facing the floor. So if you're in the studio, your forearms are on the platform for a kneeling crunch. Your knees are on the carriage. And I'm just going to slide. Of course, it's not working now. So sometimes the folder moves on the towel, sometimes my knees move on this folder. Either way, just make sure you have something slippery. Slide back and forth. Maybe use a book if you have a big enough one. Remember, we're creating that C curve, trying to get your right hip to touch your right rib, your lowest rib. Heavy in those forearms. Lifting that left hip up. 5 more seconds and we're switching to a side plank with a leg lift. In 3, 2, 1. So now we're just going to a side plank. If you have enough space. So you can do this on your toes, or you can do this on your knees. I'm going to go ahead and go to my knees. Just make sure we've got a straight line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. That's kind of on an angle because the chair's in my way. We're just keeping those hips up, keeping space down here, keeping space between your shoulders and your ears. You can put that left arm up in the air. In 5 seconds, I want you guys to put that left leg up in 3, 2, 1. Raise that left leg. And let's see if we get that leg tap. 5 seconds left. We're going to switch to that left leg in 3, 2, 1. Okay, back to that elevator lunge. Your left foot is on the platform, your right foot is on the carriage, or if you're at home, left foot is in front, right foot is on the glider. Sorry, I'm in this tiny office without a lot of space. So left foot is in front, right foot is on the glider. Let's get started. Remember, we're keeping hips distance between those legs. No tightrope walking. Left knee is above your left ankle. Pause at the bottom and think about putting all your weight into that left foot. And standing up with just one leg. Chest is proud. Really digging in right here and your left hamstring. Woo. Tighten those obliques, or tighten those abs when you're trying to pull up at the end there. For some reason it makes it easier. Maybe just because I start thinking about my abs instead of my legs. But yeah, right here when I'm trying to pull it in that last bit, and I stand up. Remember, we're not standing up straight. Keep a slight bend in that leg. We don't ever want to take the tension off. Remember, keep those hips square. Less than 30 seconds left. We're going to switch to that curtsy. We're going to keep those legs with the left foot in front, the right foot will be in back on the glider. If you're in the studio, you just change which side of the platform you're on. So the left foot goes over here on the right side, right foot goes back there in the pocket, or sit up like me if you're at home. And again, we start all your weight's loaded in that left leg. Be careful to keep that knee back. I keep having to use the wall for a little bit of balance. No shame if you have to do the same. And I guess now is not the right time to mention you should have had one yellow spring on for all of this. Hopefully if you're in the studio you figured that out. Ooh, we are at the halfway point. And then we got that front lunge left. Definitely have to shake it out in between here. Don't mind my University of Illinois blue and orange banner. I live with the president of the DC alumni, so I kind of have no choice, but we both went to school there. Less than 30 seconds. And then you can shake it out. Breathe into that left glute, left hamstring. Push in that left heel on your way up. Oh. Oh, 10 seconds left. I'm quitting early to show you the next move. You get to do that only if you're the instructor. Right foot goes in the back. If you're on the machine, right foot is in the carriage. Or left foot is on the carriage. Left foot is in front of the platform. Right foot is on the carriage. You're doing that front lunge. I guess I need to have my foot a little further back. There we go, yeah. Your right leg is almost in full extension. Just a baby bend there. Again, thinking down here, thinking about left heel. I'm standing up with just my left leg. Woo! See those shakes? You guys better be shaking the same. Oh, last leg move. Then we got that left oblique. Some arms. And we got two variations here. There's going to be that hold. Then we're going to put those arms up. Coming up in like 20 seconds. See, if you get tired like me, then you start going too fast. All right. And hit that bottom in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. 3, 4, 5. Arms up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full range. Okay, 10 seconds. And then we got that mermaid. Side torso crunch on the floor. 4 on the back of the carriage. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Like I said, so we're working on the left side here. So you have an option to either back up. Either put your right knee down and stay stacked above it, and put your left foot out. And this could be your mermaid. As far, she lets you go really far down. Or if you're on the machine, you sit on the back of the carriage, sitting on your right leg. Left leg goes under that X strap by the floor. Or if you want to sit on your right leg on the floor at home, you can also tuck your left leg under the couch or under a desk like I have. Again, if you need some support here, you can put this arm down, help you get lower. Ooh, did you see that? My AirPod just fell out and I caught it immediately. It was perfect. Couldn't do it again if I tried. Just make sure we're trying to keep kind of straight up here because this is where we want the crunch. That left oblique is what we're working on. So that's where you're squeezing back into. 15 seconds. And then we're moving out of that kneeling crunch if you can. In the studio, not a problem. If you have a little sliding folder, or I think you can do it with gliders. So that's in 3, 2, 1. Forearms on the platform. Feet to your left side, keeping that left hip and left oblique down towards the carriage. You're going to slide your hips up, back down. We're going to think about a string on being on your right hip and pulling it up. So you're not thinking about your legs coming in, you're thinking about your hip going up. Now, I did this with gliders earlier, and it kind of worked. So, if you can do that. I found it was best when I put my feet on one glider and my knees on another one. So slide up like this. And remember, we're thinking about this hip coming up. Think about this hip trying to touch your ribs. Scooping that C out, as Liv Willer says. You guys only got 10 seconds left, and then we got that side plank. In 3, 2, 1. Side plank. Forearm down on the platform or on the floor. You can be up on your feet, or you can be on your knees. Whatever you prefer. There's going to be those 2 variations in the middle there. Make sure we keep those hips up and keep this space here. Don't collapse down into your shoulder like that. So keep that angle here and not sagging our hips. We got 15 seconds, then I'll have you put that leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put that leg up if you want, or just keep holding that plank. Just make sure we keep those hips up. Let's see about that leg tap. Yeah, the most important thing is making sure that your left hip doesn't dip here. So we're crunching up only as far as you can get. There's no rules, just keep that hip up. In 3, 2, 1, we are switching to a lying bicep curl. If you are at home, grab your weights. Lay down on your mat. If you're in the studio, your body is on the carriage, grab your black straps, the small handles. Laying down, we're putting our feet up like this. And we are curling up. Make sure you squeeze those weights hard. That'll make it more pressure on your biceps. If you need some more stability, you can put your legs down. You can put your toes down on the carriage or on the floor. If you need more work, keep them up like this. Make sure we're having space between our upper arms and the carriage or the floor. You don't want to rest those elbows down there. Your head and neck can be on the floor of the carriage, but your arms need to be up. Keeping that extra tension when you extend. And remember, if it's easy, go heavier weights or just slow it down. Make sure you're really squeezing. We're going to switch from this in 20 seconds, and we're going to go to a tailbone bicep curl. So you're just going to sit up. If you're in the studio, you're keeping those black straps. If you're at home, on your mat or just on the floor, your feet are out straight like this. That's in 3, 2, 1. So your feet can be tucked under the strap, your feet can be on the floor, your feet can be up here if you want a little extra. So we got another bicep curl. In the studio, you're still working with that, with those black straps, the short ones. And shoot, your spring load should probably be 2 or 3 yellows. You guys can play around with it, see what you feel. Might be 3 or 4. It's so individual, you know, with bicep curls. Got 30 more seconds. We're going to switch to a tailbone angel. So we're going to stay in this same position. Again, if you need a little more balance, you can put your toes down. But let me move my mat. If you're in the studio, you keep those black straps. And we're just changing this to kind of a reverse fly, the reverse tailbone angel. Feet are up here, going like this. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. That's a tailbone angel in 3, 2, 1. Keeping those knees and feet up, the tabletop position. Keeping extra pressure in your abs. Keeping your shoulders down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. More than halfway done. We're going to switch to a sexy back. So if you're in the studio, you're going to keep those black straps. Get up on your knees, hinge forward, and you're going to be here with just the lower part of your arm moving. This part stays, your upper arm stays still. That's a sexy back. If you're at home, you're up on your knees like me, and you're just doing a tricep kickback. So you can hold your weights like this, or you can hold them like that. Yeah, hold them like this. I guess you could hold them at the neck of the bottle. I like the big part of the bottle better. Again, if this is too easy, you can do heavier weight. You can slow down a lot, and you can squeeze really hard so that those triceps are fully engaged the whole time. Let's see what's after a sexy back. Kneeling tricep extension in less than 30 seconds. So if you're in the studio, you're going to turn around and face the mirror, but you keep those black handles. You may need to up your spring load for this. I feel like I do 1 red on kneeling tricep extension, but you should probably do at least 3 yellows. And if you're at home, you don't need to change positions. You just kneel down. You want your palms facing each other. Your elbows stay here in your peripheral vision. And you're just going straight up. Behind your head. Again, lower arm is moving, upper arm is not moving. And you've got your elbows in, like your upper arm is kind of framing your face. Oh, and look, let's see if I'm going evenly. More than halfway done. And then you guys are going to switch to an upper lift. Again, in the studio, you're already facing the mirror. You'll stay facing the mirror. You drop those hands down to here, and we'll lift up, serving the platter. That's going to be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, you can be on your knees if you need more stability, or you can be up like this for a little more of a challenge. Flex those glutes. And go up. And then back down. These wine bottles are pretty light for this, so I'm going to do it really slowly. Again, we got our arms at 90 degrees. Reach up. more than halfway done. We're just gonna finish with some push-ups. Regular at home. If you're in the studio, just go around and do incline push-ups on the back platform. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so in the studio, go around to the back of the platform, and you're going to be hands on the back handles, just doing push-ups. At home, we have lots of options. You can do regular push-ups on your toes. Just make sure you're keeping that straight line. If you start to feel any sagging or that you're piking up, just go down to your knees and keep that straight line there, because this pressure, keeping that pressure on your chest is what's important. Chest, triceps. If you want to do incline push-ups at home, you can hold on to a chair or a desk. Do them like that. Again, we want to keep our elbows going back like at 45 degrees. You're going to keep your shoulders down. Keep those hips in the same position you would for like a plank. We got that straight line. Your arms are the only thing that are dynamic here. Just got 10 seconds left. Finish strong. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is your on-demand Lagree for today. Thank you for coming out, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday.